Bio paper ICC 1994. Complete the following statements by choosing the correct alternative from those given in brackets. The kind of tissue found in the interior of potato tuber is parenchyma. Yellow spot and ciliary muscles are found in eye. Largest egg of any present day animal is that of ostrich. The causative agent of AIDS is virus. Next, mention following statements, whether the following statements are true or false. Ricket is caused due to the deficiency of iodine. False. Goiter is caused due to the deficiency of iodine. Litmus paper is used to demonstrate transpiration from the leaves of green plants. False. Cobalt chloride paper is used to demonstrate transpiration from the leaves of green plants. Write the correct substitute for only the first word of the following statement. আচ্ছা গেল। So goiter, deficiency of iodine, and cobalt chloride paper demonstrate transpiration from the leaves of green plants. Define the following pollutant. The substances that cause pollution are called pollutants. A pollutant can be any chemical substance, biological organism, or product or physical agency that can be released intentionally by man into the environment with actual or potential adverse harmful and unpleasant and inconvenient effects. Now, right hand side can't be seen. Key, the substances that cause pollution are called pollutants. A pollutant can be any chemical substance, biological organism, or product or physical agency that can be released intentionally by man into the environment with actual or potential adverse, harmful, and unpleasant and having harmful, unpleasant, and inconvenient effects. Next, antiseptic. They are the substances which prevent the growth of microorganisms, for example, iodine, spirit, silver nitrate. In common usage, the antiseptic also includes some disinfectants which can be used on inanimate objects, for example, dilute hydrogen peroxide, Dettol, Savlon, carbolic acid, hydrochloric acid, boric acid. Next, endocrine gland. The endocrine glands are ductless glands which secrete hormone. The hormones they directly diffuse into the blood and are carried to all parts of the body. They are chemical messengers responsible for the harmonious working of the body. Next, guttation. The loss of water in the form of liquid droplets from the leaves and other parts of an intact plant is called guttation. It occurs in some plants, that is garden nastartium, potato, cucurbits, grasses, cereals. Uh, Guttation takes place through special structures or hydrathodes present on the margins and tips of leaves. Next, name and state the position of any two valves in human heart. Bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve. Bicuspid valve is the valve with two flaps. It is located at the junction of left auricle and left ventricle. Tricuspid valve, the valve with three flaps, is known as tricuspid valve, located at the junction of right auricle and right ventricle. Next, two activities of Red Cross Society is not there in the syllabus. Next, fill in the blanks with following equations with two chemical reactions. 6CO2 plus 12H2O, light energy and chlorophyll. Above the arrow, light energy, below the arrow, chlorophyll. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. C6H12O6 plus 6O2 gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. So, which one of these two reaction is supporter of life? State two differences in this process other than those already indicated. Reactions. Two reactions. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives, means fill in the blanks is there of this equation. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O, or C6H12O6 plus 6O2 gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus heat by energy. State 2 process is represented by the above two reactions, photosynthesis and aerobic respiration. State any two difference in these processes other than those already indicated in the reactions. Photosynthesis and respiration difference: light energy is converted into chemical energy and stored. Respiration chemical energy is converted into partly heat and partly useful energy for various activities. Next, photosynthesis results in gain in weight, respiration results in weight loss. Next, which one of these two reactions is supporter of life on earth? Photosynthesis. Next, for three pictures are there. Which kind of blood vessel is shown in A? Capillary. Write two characteristics of such blood vessels. It is a narrow tube. Its wall consists of single layer of epithelial cells and has no muscles. Next, two kind of blood cells shown in A. Red blood cells and white blood cells. Next, describe step by step what is happening in the three figures. What is the advantages of this activity to our body? WBC squeezing through the walls of capillary into the tissue. WBC engulfing bacteria. Next, neutrophil engulf bacteria. Given below is the diagram of a female reproductive system of human being. Uh, Vagina, ovary, funnel, fallopian tube, cavity of uterus, cervix of uterus. Name the normally how many days does an ovary release an egg? 28 days after the beginning of menstruation. Where are the sperms released during coitus? The sperms actively during coitus, the sperms are released near the cervix of the uterus. Next, the sperms actively swim with the help of their tail and climb up through the uterus and reach the oviducts. Next, question number 5. What is the function of the organ named 5? Cavity of the uterus receives the two oviducts. How many days does it normally take from the fertilization of egg up to the birth of a baby? It takes 280 days. Describe briefly the functions of the following. Epiglottis. The epiglottis prevents the entry of blood for food particles from mouth into the trachea through the glottis. Eustachian tube. The movement of air into or out of the tympanic chamber takes place through the eustachian tube. It serves to adjust the pressure inside the middle ear to changes in the atmospheric air pressure for normal hearing. Next, glomerulus. The filtration of blood in the nephron takes place in the glomerulus. Next, in the figure given below shows a cell in the normal state and B shows the same cell after leaving it in certain solution for a few minutes. Describe the change which has occurred in the cell as seen in B. The shrinkage of protoplast from the cell wall, that is plasmolysis. Give the technical term for the condition of the cell as reached in B and as it was in A. In B flaccid condition, in A turgid condition. Next question. What was the solution? Isotonic, hypotonic or hypertonic in which the cell was kept? When a cell is placed in hypertonic solution, water begins to pass out of the cell by osmosis with a consequent shrinkage of the protoplasm. This phenomena is known as plasmolysis. Next question. What was the solution? Hypertonic, and the cell which is hypertonic. Define the process which lead to this condition, which has lead to this condition when a cell is placed in hypertonic solution. When a cell is placed in hypertonic solution, water begins to pass out of the cell by osmosis with a consequent shrinkage of the protoplasm. This phenomena is known as plasmolysis. Next question. How can the cell in B be brought back into its original condition? By keeping the cell B in hypotonic solution or water for some time. Next, name the parts labeled 1, 2, 3. Cell wall, cell membrane, chloroplasts. Next, describe the role of the following: spinal cord in reflex action and diaphragm in breathing or iris of the eye. Spinal cord in reflex action. Once the sensory organ is excited by some stimuli, the message is carried by the sensory nerves to the spinal cord. From the spinal cord, the directions carried by the motor nerve fibers to one or more effector organs. The whole action is completed instantaneously. Next, diaphragm in breathing. The contraction relaxation of diaphragm increases and decreases the volume of thoracic cavity respectively during breathing. Next, iris of the eye. The radial and circular muscles of the iris contract or relax, and thereby the size of the pupil is adjusted. Define transpiration. Loss of water from the aerial parts of the plants in the form of vapors is called transpiration. Next, three conditions which affect transpiration. Light, light utilizes a light utilizes a very small amount of light received by it. Leaf utilizes a very small amount of light received by it. Rest part is converted into heat energy. The accumulation of heat enhances the rate of diffusion and subsequently the rate of transpiration. Next, light ensures the stomatal opening. The greater the stomatal aperture, the greater is the rate of transpiration. Next, humidity of the air. There is an increase or decrease in the rate of transpiration according to whether air is dry or moist. The greater is the humidity of air, lesser is the rate of transpiration. Next, temperature of the air. The higher the temperature of the air, greater is the transpiration. The higher the temperature of the air, the greater is the transpiration. High temperature increases the diffusion and consequently the rate of transpiration. Next, experiment to prove that transpiration occurs more from the lower surface of the leaf. Cobalt chloride experiment. Take a potted plant. Cover a portion of the leaf on both the sides by anhydrous cobalt chloride paper. The paper can be fixed by thin glass plates fixed in a position by a clip. The color of the anhydrous cobalt chloride paper is blue, but when it is hydrated, it becomes pink. After some time, it is found that the paper becomes pink. It shows that water vapor comes out through the leaf surface. বাইফেকাল এটাও দেখতে পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না কি bifacial leaf, the paper on the lower surface becomes more pink because stomata are present only on the lower surface and cuticle on the upper surface. Since stomata are present on the lower side only, stomatal transpiration is greater than cuticular transpiration. We may also say that transpiration occurs more from lower surface of the leaf. Give brief explanations of the following. The need to limit the size of families is more vital than ever before because the mother may suffer from ill health due to frequent pregnancies. Economically weak parents cannot maintain their standard of living. Children do not get nutritious food, proper clothing, proper medical facilities, and good education. Poor health of the mother leads to less attention to the children. Overcrowding leads to problems of sanitation, sewage, transportation, environmental and noise pollution, various socio-economic problems related to juvenile delinquency and crime. Next, in view of the above points, the need to limit the size of families is more vital than today ever before. Next, cultivation of leguminous crops improves the fertility of soil because they are capable of fixing atmospheric nitrogen in the soil, thus increasing nitrogen fertility. Next, 1993 paper. The unit of structure and function of living organisms. Huh? See question number 7 of 1995. Acha. The process in living beings which is concerned with the release of energy for use in the body. Sorry, first question, the unit of structure and function in living organisms cell. The process in living beings which is concerned with the release of energy for use in the body. Respiration, the class of nutrients which are essential for growth and repair of body cells and tissues. Protein, the category of germs which produce diseases like mumps, chickenpox and poliomyelitis. Virus, the technical term used for the difference between birth rate and death rate in a population. Growth rate of population. Next, state one difference in each of the following respect to aspect related within the brackets. Dicot stem and monocrospate stem, arrangement of vascular bundles. This answer is not here. Inspiration and expiration during breathing. This question is no more there in the syllabus. Tubectomy and vasectomy parts operated. Tubectomy is the tying up of oviducts with nylon thread to close the downward passage of egg. Vasectomy is the surgical removal of a small bead from each vas deferens, Manes palm duct between two ligatures. Thus, the sperms cannot travel down. Next, mention whether the following statements are true or false. Pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. True. Urethra carries urine from kidney to urinary bladder. Ureter carries urine from kidney to urinary bladder. Root hairs are the extensions of the outer epidermal cells of the root. True. Next, give one word technical term for any four of the following organic substances which act as biocatalysts, enzymes, response to a stimulus without the intervention of the will of an animal, reflex action, introduction of weakened or dead pathogens in the body to produce resistance against diseases, vaccination, condition in which both male and female organs are present in the same individual, bisexual. Next, name the parts labeled 1 to 8. Diagrammatic sketch of a certain generalized cell. Name the parts labeled 1 to 8. 1 is chloroplast, 2 is vacuole, 3 is mitochondria, 4 is cytoplasm, 5 is nucleus, 6 is chromosomes, 7 is plasma membrane, 8 is cell wall. Next question. Is it a plant cell or animal cell? Give two reasons in support of your answer. It is a plant cell because cell wall is present in plant cell. Chloroplasts are present in plant cell. Next. Is the cell as shown here turgid or flaccid? The cell is turgid because the protoplast is in contact with the cell wall. The adjoining figure represents an experiment performed to demonstrate certain phenomena and plants. The setup was kept in sunlight for about 2 hours. Uh, This is an experiment to demonstrate transpiration. Transpiration is the process of expelling water from internal tissues in the form of water vapor given off by aerial parts, many leaves. The inner surface of the polythene bags contains drops of water. This shows that the water vapor given out during transpiration have condensed into drops of water on coming in contact with the cold surface of the polythene bag. Next, apparatus should not be placed in a very warm place as the water vapor will not be able to condense. Next, polythene cover should be made airtight to avoid entry of water vapor from outside. Next, suggest a suitable control experiment for comparison. Control experiment. In the same experiment, put a known weight of water absorbing substance such as calcium chloride inside the polythene bag. The gain in weight of the substance indicates the loss of water from the leaf surface. Next, give one example for each of the following: the hormone which controls the level of sugar in blood and the gland which secretes it, insulin. The chief nitrogenous waste product in the human urine and the organ which produces it, liver. The chief nitrogenous waste product in human urine is urea, and the organ which produces it is liver. One figure is given. There are serious mistakes in two places in the diagram. Read out the diagram correctly to eliminate these mistakes. To demonstrate that carbon dioxide is given out during breathing, both test tube A and B contain lime water. When the air is sucked, keeping clip C opened and clip D closed, the atmospheric air rushes the flask and bubbling through the lime water. Next, clip C is closed and clip D is opened, and the exhaled air is blown through the same central tube. This time the air is forced into flask B, bubbling through its lime water. The lime water in flask B turns milky much faster than in flask A. Differentiate between the following pairs: blood plasma and serum. Blood plasma. The plasma is a light yellow colored alkaline liquid. The approximate percentage of its main constituents are 90% water, 8% protein, 1% inorganic salts and other substances. Traces. Serum, plasma from which protein fibrinogen has been removed, is called serum. Antibody. Antibody is a substance occurring naturally in the blood or produced in response to the presence of an antigen which is able to overcome the toxic effect of an antigen through agglutination, inactivation, or lysis. Antibiotics are chemical substances secreted by some organisms which inhibit the growth of or kill certain pathogens, growth of germs হবে বোধহয়, or kill certain pathogens without affecting their hosts and the organisms producing them. Key antibiotics. Antibodies are substance occurring naturally in the blood or produced in response to the presence of an antigen which is able to overcome the toxic effect of an antigen through agglutination, inactivation, or lysis, lysis. Are antibiotics are chemical substances secreted by some organisms which inhibit the growth of germs or kill certain pathogens without affecting their hosts and organisms producing them. Antiseptics. Antiseptics are substances which prevent the growth of microorganisms. Iodine, spirit, silver nitrate. Many examples are iodine, spirit, and silver nitrate. In common usage, the antiseptic also includes some disinfectants which can be used on inanimate objects. For example, dilute hydrogen peroxide, Dettol, Savlon, carboxylic acid, Lysol, boric acid. Next, disinfectants are germicidal chemicals which also inhibit the growth of pathogens. For example, carbolic acid equals to phenol, boric acid, cresol, lysol, bleaching powder, potassium permanganate. Next, define photosynthesis. The manufacture of organic compounds from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight inside the chlorophyll containing cells of the plant is called photosynthesis. Describe an experiment to prove that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. Next, describe briefly the main functions of each of the following. Epiglottis. The epiglottis prevents the entry of food particles from mouth into the trachea through the glottis. Mitral valve equals to bicuspid valve. It allows the blood to flow only in one direction. Sound. Next, tympanum. Sound waves striking against the tympanum cause it to vibrate. Sound waves striking against the tympanum cause it to vibrate. Next, while reading a line from printed page, you have to move your eyes from word to word. Yellow spot is the reason. Yellow spot is the place of best focus of normal eye. This spot contains the maximum number of sense cells and particularly the cones. As a result, this is the region of brightest vision and also of color vision. This is the reason we move our eyes from word to word while reading a line from a printed page.